Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And I'm back with part 7 of What If Kaguya created Naruto to replace her sons. Remember to get this one too. 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Anime King 2, Anime Symbol, Anime Prince. All of the links will be down below. So go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And don't forget to turn on the bell notification to see when I post. And if you have your ideas, just go ahead and comment on any of the latest posts, including this one, and I'll jot them down for future use. So without further ado or wasting any more time, let us begin this now guys. So the last part that we left off, Materoomi people were watching, ready to strike, but she stopped them from doing so. This man was an anomaly that she didn't understand. Someone that could break chakra cuffs. Someone that felt like a cross between a Noxery and Luna's. He was something unknown. She questioned him about his curiosity. His interest was only towards the weapons that were crafted by the Uzumaki. In the 2 years that Naruto spent creating his species, he learned about his brother's Fuinjutsu, and this Uzumaki Fuinjutsu reminded him of such. Thus Naruto was really curious, yes he was. He was intrigued by it all. When Materoomi questioned him, Naruto did not really lie when he spoke of being alive for thousands of years. His words confused her as he spoke of his brother, who created this, who inspired all of this. The weapons were crafted to eliminate the Noxeries, as it wasn't simply cutting off their head or stabbing them in the heart. They would simply regenerate. The weapons inspire one's chakra in order to cause a combustion, to destroy them from the inside out. Kiri had made a deal with the Uzumaki clan, as Naruto was simply curious about it all, showing that he had no intention to attack them one bit. When Materoomi questioned if the brother he was talking about was the Sage of Six Paths, his reaction, his lack of twitching and joking, made them realize that he was more than they believed him to be. There was lore, there was history, there was a lot. There was a lot that people spoke about. It said that the man that created chakra, the man that made them what they are right now, had a brother that had the intention to eviscerate humanity, tales passed down through time. Materoomi was glad that she did not agree to the attack, as Naruto left with Aiko. Aiko questioned him as he told her the truth. He would understand if she was angry at him right now, but she wasn't. It's not like he was the one that did all of this. He created them, but he wasn't controlling their actions. She questioned him about the whole destroying the world thing, as he told her that in the past, he would have wiped away humanity just like that. But now things are different. He was changed by two people as they continue. She was intrigued even more. Now knowing all of this, she was constantly questioning him, trying to see his strength as they continue on, making their way. The news about Naruto started to spread like wildfire across the elemental nation. They were targeted by a Luna. A lot of them, but only one came out after Naruto told him to reveal himself. Naruto had given them specific order that their power would evolve through the test of time. They should have children, they should go on. But that is not what they did. Instead, Madara created these ones. That is why Naruto was so angry. He gave them specific order that through time their bloodline would evolve. It would become something greater, but instead, they started to create these abominations. As Naruto told him to go, realizing that he was being watched through his eyes, Madara could see it all. Yes, she could see through their eyes. She was the one that sent them. For the first time in a very long while, seeing him with her own eyes again brought up feelings. She demanded to know where Orochimaru was, as she was working on something that would put an end to Naruto. Her hate for him greater than ever before. We get to see a part of her plan, as there was a young man trapped in a massive cylinder. Naruto had told her about his mother creating him to be her protector, but Madara had created this person to be his destroyer. We then get to learn that there was a group of Hyuga that reside outside of Konoha that did not get along with the other branch because of two brothers fighting. There was still some on the moon. However, as the news went around, they were all still close to Hamura, the history passing down in their clan, the lore of Naruto. And now that he was awakened, word was sent. We then get to see the hierarchy of Konoha, how it passed down during time. It was Indra and Ashura, kept close. Zetsu was never able to interfere or mess with any of them. The sage wanted to make sure that the future would be secure, knowing that eventually Naruto would come back. Thus, just like that, the Uchiha and Senju passed down. Hoshirama and Madara as Hokage and Shadow Hokage. Thus it passed down through time. At the moment it was Dan, Senju. He married into the Senju clan, and Fukaku Uchiha leading the village. It was Hayashi that called a meeting. They were shocked to hear that the other Hyuga outside had sent word to Hayashi, because this wasn't common. However, a greater threat had risen for them to put aside past grievances. As Naruto was heading towards the Uzumaki clan, having made a detour, he came across the seal of Moro, the priestess that was there, as it was passed down for her to seal the beast. Moro believed himself to be some demon god or whatever, but Naruto saw him for what he truly is, a fragment of the 10 tails. It was Naruto's presence that broke the seal. For the first time in a long while, Naruto fought. As the sky shook, the ocean trembled, the land split as he clashed against Moro, the beast that could not be killed on the seal, but Naruto eviscerated him as he wiped him off the face of the earth. In just 3 days, the entire world now knew about him, believing that he was back to make good on his promise, to cleanse the world, to wipe away mankind. So yeah guys, basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the place for yourselves to be in this new episode. You know they would make you become their king if you wanted to, right? Aiko said to Naruto as they walk. After saving the country from a problem that, well, he caused, the people were now free. The demon country, as they call it, due to the, well, demon buried under the mountain. They were free, no longer concerned. The burden that the priestess carried, it was broken. However, Naruto did not desire anything in return. That even more. These people were quite aware of the rumors. The priestess had sat down with him, questioning him about his desire to wipe away mankind. Hearing his words, she trusted them. Seeing this young girl accompanying him, she trusted what he had to say, because if he was really the one that they spoke of, he wouldn't have saved them. He would allow Moro to kill them all, because it's not like any of them could stop Moro. With that, Naruto and Aiko continue on their journey. Aiko was still questioning him about a lot, as she wanted to know all the history, but Naruto did not know that much. about the time while he was asleep. They had to get across the ocean. As Aiko was talking about a boat, when Naruto scooped her up, as he took to the heavens, she saw him hover before, but she did not know that he could fly. Hold on, he said. She gripped on as the speed increased. What would have taken at least 5 days for a normal boat, it only took a matter of moments as Naruto hovered over the central island, picking up on the massive amount of chakra and the specialty. He noticed the whirlpools, knowing that they were not man-made. He descended down below. The moment he placed Aiko down, she was green. As she took a breath, "Give me a moment," she said. Naruto looked around. He could feel it in the sand. They're quite in depth when it comes to Fuinjutsu, he thought to himself. He knew that they were being monitored a few yards out on the ocean. His speed must be something that caught them by surprise. Naruto's gaze focused on the islands. There were 3 of them. His vision extended towards the further one, noticing the fluctuation of power there. It seems like they were in depth with experimenting. He turned towards the other. He saw the battle scars, training, as he looked towards the central island, which was the largest. Naruto started to advance, Aiko catching up with him. I know that you're this like super ancient powerful god or whatever, but these people are no joke, she said. I've only heard rumors. I've never been here before. But I've heard that out of all the villages, despite being not that large, despite the island being rather large, the Uzumakis are the most terrifying. Over time, they've solidified their strength as one of the most powerfulest. We should be a bit concerned. Their Fuinjutsu is something divine, I've heard. Hey, are you listening to me? Yes, I can hear you. Then why aren't you concerned, she said. There's no need to be. I have told you before. As long as I am present, you will be fine. Aiko took a step behind him. Well then, I guess you will be my shield, she said. Just keep an eye out, okay? Naruto saw someone emerging. The man seemed to be in his, perhaps, early 50s. However, that was just an illusion. His hair had a bit of white stroke in it, but the man was much older. Uzumakis tend to age rather wonderfully. Their longevity was truly impressive amongst all others. He emerged, judging by the clothing and the colors, the scheme. Naruto presumed that he was a leader. Bold of him to step out alone, as Naruto did not see another, but he did know that they were watching. He approached, Aiko peeping out. As she placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, he did not seem to mind as she hid behind him. She was a bit concerned. Stop that, said Naruto. As the man got closer, you will be fine. Just stand where you are. Alright, fine, she said. As she stood beside him, the man approached. He seemed rather calm, despite them sensing the threat some yards ago. He approached Naruto and stood there. Naruto Otsutsuki, I presume, he said. You know him, Aiko said, blurting out as she was surprised. Yes, we Uzumakis have kept a very vast detail of history. If you don't mind, he said, as he turned his back, expecting them to follow him. Hey, Aiko said, poking Naruto in the shoulder. What if he's leading us into a trap? I assure you I'm not. She covered her mouth. You know you're talking loudly, said Naruto. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You cannot truly whisper. Huh? What are you talking about, she said. When you speak to whisper, you speak loudly, said Naruto. Aiko blinked, never knowing that. Well, that's a rather weird thing to bring up, especially this time right now. Well, you do talk constantly, said Naruto. Are you saying that I love to talk? Yes, I've made that clear on numerous occasions. The Uzumaki in front of them chuckled at their little banter, but said nothing. They were brought inside. The Uzumakis around, they were so casual, some of them looking his way. Naruto noticed that some of them had different complexion and features, so they're not all Uzumakis. The man brought Naruto straight to his head office, where he sat down. Apologies, I am Genma Uzumaki, he said, the leader of this sanctuary. He gazed towards Naruto. You already know my name. This is my burden, Naruto said. Her name is Aiko Yoromura. Aiko glared at Naruto but said nothing. He motioned for them to have a seat. May I ask, what have brought you to my home? You seem to know a lot about me. Majority does not know my name, but you do. That means, I'm guessing that you have an inkling of the promise I made a long time ago. To exterminate humanity, Genma said. Don't worry, Aiko said. He's not like that anymore. Ah yes, I've noticed. You have. We've been watching you the moment that you arrive. Your power, the moment it spread. Our sensors, our equipments, everything was overloaded. Everyone believed that it was just a fluctuation of anomaly, that it was a natural disaster, because none of them believed that no human could ever possess such power. But you are not a human. We have prepared for this day, the lore that has been passed down. However, we've come across some of your creations who spoke about you in a different light. But over time, a lot has changed. I presume that you're here, following the seals that you remember from your brother's craft. You should get better spies, Naruto said, as he started to list out every one of the spies that he had saw. From the moment that he arrived, not even here. Genma chuckled. I guess it is hard to escape your sight, even with your normal eyes. Yes, a lot has been passed down through history. Many tales. Many has been in constant fear. Over time, though, a lot of that fear has passed. But a lot of people has kept the history intact. My people including. Time after time, leaders after leaders. You've slept for a long time. Seeing that you're with this young girl, I believe that you're using her for information. Aiko didn't know why, but that statement made her feel strange. Like she wasn't anything else. Yes, I am, said Naruto. That made it even worse, as she went quiet, as Naruto continued to speak. So I can presume that you have all the history on my brother and what transpired between my creations. Well, I'm not truly sure why they chose to abandon you. However, what I am sure about is Hamura ensured that his people were prepared, fearing that your wrath would be all-consuming. Over time, though, rose two leaders of the Hyugas, well, three. One remained behind on the moon. Aiko was surprised despite feeling withdrawn. The moon, she thought. Another resides, similar to us, as they stand as a standalone clan, having others to boost their strength and popularity. While another ventured to Konoha and is living as one of the main clans there. The history there is tall between them as well. They've grown a grudge and hate for your kind. I'm sure that your recent exploit has caused them to band together their information to see your downfall. It's out of fear, believing that your sole goal is to destroy us all, But you don't believe that, said Naruto. No. As I said, we've been monitoring you. Not to mention with what I've heard from your kind. Something has changed your fancy. The mere fact that you're walking with this girl proves that you are not the same. Genma said, well, you would be right. It is not my desire to destroy everything anymore. Tell me though, what did my brothers do? Well, the history was passed down to the other Hyugas. Hamura making sure that they were prepared, that they were strong. Hagoromo kept his sons together, as I read through the ledgers. They crafted the Senju and Uchiha clan, which is now the top hierarchy of Konoha, which has kept balanced security. The elemental nation is the center. Konoha is the head of it all. Outside though, the Lunas and the Noxers, they proven to be a greater threat that, had the elemental nations banding together despite their own grievances against one another. Over time there has been settlements and peace talks, treaties for them to work together. However, the fear of the Lunas and the Noxers, one day choosing to break and just attack them all, is still great. We were special for our craft of Fuinjutsu, passed down from your brother himself, I believe. The history was taught to me when I was a child. It is long and vast. Weapons that were crafted to handle your species. Your brother feared that the lights of mankind would not be able to stop them. So he forged weapons. He forged knowledge to ensure that we would. Over time, we have signed deals. We have passed on these weapons. It has helped mankind to survive. It has helped mankind to thrive. But as they grow, so does the Noxers and the Lunas. They start to create more of themselves, creating vast armies. The balance is shifting constantly. Protection, fear, it is always there. We Uzumakis have been creating weapons for mankind to choose their survival. You speak to me so casually, despite telling me that you're forging weapons to destroy my species. Well, given the clear divide that they've chosen to separate it from you, I presume that it wouldn't be a problem. There is a notion that you might be here to destroy us all for what we have created and passed down. Well, there is still so many unknowns about you and about your change, he said. There is nothing for you to worry about. It's not my desire to harm any of you. Your creation is keeping balance. Before now, I would have wiped away these weapons, but my own have created abominations that even I detest. They were supposed to be pure and passed down the line of generations, but instead they started to create them. And I dislike that. Giving humanity a fighting chance. That is what Hagoromo always wanted. Thus I will not interfere. However, trust only rise from understanding. I can tell that you are afraid. Despite my words, despite what you've seen, you are concerned, believing that this is a game. I know that these past couple of years, these generations, your people have plotted, created all sorts of things to stop me just in case. And your fear has allowed you to pass this on. Tell me, to who, said Naruto. Have you lost faith in your strength, believing that you cannot overcome them? He questioned Naruto. No, that is not it. On my journey, I am not looking to start a war. But if your people retaliate against me, I will not hesitate to remove them. There was a silence between them. It has been passed on to many. Former leaders of my clan, other villages, sacred arts. A testimony of your strength was given a long time ago. A chance to overcome you just in case. You could remove this information from my head Can I truly assume that you truly mean no harm? Naruto got to his feet. Thank you for all that you've given me, but you are simply a piece of the puzzle. The more I travel, the more I learn. The more connection to everything, said Naruto. Where will you go next? He questioned Naruto. To the capital, the largest of them all, the one in charge. They will not be happy to see you, while they are calm. Konoha is a very suspicious village of anything, and the Hyugas, they despise you the most. Your fear, your very essence, intimidate them. You might be starting something that you don't want to. It's best to avoid them. You speak as if I should be afraid. Now I'm more sure than ever. None of you have any idea just exactly who I am. With that, let's go, said Naruto. Him and Aiko made their way, walking through. She was silent and Naruto noticed. They were still within the parameters of the village. He questioned. Is it because I told you that you talk a lot? Huh? You're quiet, said Naruto. It is odd. She looked towards him, seeming rather nervous. Back there, you said that I was your, companion for information. Yes, what of it? Is that the only reason why you keep me around? You said you dislike humanity before. Even if you don't hate them, you don't care that much about them. So, I'm like the rest of humanity to you. She said, so you're protecting me because I have a little bit of information and to keep you company in your walk. You're upset because you expect me to care about you, said Naruto, as he looked down at her. Well, she looked away. His words might sound harsh, but it was just the way that he talked. If I did not care for your existence, I would have simply erased your thoughts and turned you into a puppet. Even for your company, your personality and ideology would no longer be anything about you. She looked up a bit confused. So, you're saying you like my company so that you keep my personality in check? She said, a smile starting to form on her face. That is not how I phrased it, said Naruto. But that is what you mean, she said. So we're friends. He did not answer, but she smiled. Ah, I knew that you were a big softie, she said. I can still go through with my threat, Naruto said to her. But you won't, she said with a smile. So, we're just gonna leave. Yes, I've gotten what I wanted, said Naruto. You asked him about arts that were passed down. Are you afraid they're going to use it against you? Many must possess it. But I am not afraid. Why? If these things can hurt you, they believe that it can. I've been asleep for 5,000 years. During that time, I've truly learned what I am. And what is that? Let us hope that humanity never sees it, said Naruto. With that, they proceeded on, making their way. Once again, they crossed the ocean. You know, seeing that you're not in a rush the next time that we're gonna cross the ocean, let's take a boat, she said, taking a few deep breaths as she almost barfed. However, Naruto stood where he was, simply looking up. Hey, what's wrong? Aiko said. He grabbed her and tossed her away. She was confused as she crashed over to the side. He threw her so far, but she fell into the water, so she was perfectly fine, just a bit wet. As he did so, the sky, it changed. Just this section, Naruto saw the diagram in the sky. A force of power. It seemed to be a weave between light and a strange, artificial way of chakra. It struck down upon him. Aiko screamed his name as the entire section was destroyed. The fact that he threw her so far away that she could barely see. Naruto was in the center of it all as the land erupted. It was barren, just befront of the shore. Thus there was no one there. Aiko got out of the water and ran, not caring for her own safety. She just ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. Even when her legs felt like they were going to fall, she pumped chakra through them and moved, finally arriving to a massive crater. She rushed down, scaling down the wall. It was so deep. She finally reached the base. She screamed as her hand was burned, so was her legs. The amount of heat was insane. Not to mention the sensation was overwhelming. She started to feel dizzy, a headache, followed by a throbbing pain when suddenly, she was no longer there. She was in his arms, the burn marks completely vanishing away. As Naruto set her down, there was not even a scratch on him. He dusted off his cloak. You're alive, she said as she embraced him. Of course I'm alive, said Naruto. What the hell happened? Did the heavens smite you? That wasn't the heavens, Naruto said. Was it them? She gazed towards the water. No, it wasn't the Uzumakis. I presumed that it was one of the many others, fearing my existence. This must be one of the invention that, crafted through their seals. The amount of power that was used perhaps took a lot out of them. I don't expect a retaliation like that for some time. Why do you seem so calm about this? Because I let it happen, Naruto said. What? I could have blocked it and kept us safe. I wanted them to see with their own eyes how ineffective their weapon is. How ineffective their power truly is. They simply wield chakra. I control it, said Naruto. And beyond. I wanted to show them how pointless their attack was. Even now, I can tell exactly where the source came from. I'm following the trail with my eyes. Perhaps I should show them a bit. Naruto said, extending his hand to the sky. Meanwhile, at the Hyuga settlement, there was a massive mountain that resided behind them. This was the one outside of Konoha. The leader there, his name was Hisashi. He stood firm and proud. They were able to pinpoint his exact location. Over time, technology wasn't the only thing that has rise. It was their grasp on Fuinjutsu that was gifted to them. However, they combined the two. They've been monitoring Naruto ever since. What happened at the Demon Country? They did not know why he did what he did. However, the lore, their past teaching would not make them see him as anything else but the enemy. It was a very special weapon that was powered by 35 of their own who now lie drained. There was a reason why they were a standalone clan like the Uzumakis. While they did get Fuinjutsu from the Uzumakis, they had a lot from their own that was passed down. They had weapons, powerful cannons that can shoot from far distances. That is why they were unharmed. The rest that settled within Konoha, they saw them as disgrace, but that was due to infighting because of brothers. Hisashi was able to see. They used chakra mapping, as it was able to fluctuate chakra, causing them to map out the area similar to a detailed sketch of their own eyes. When they saw that he was unharmed, they could see his chakra force. Not all of it, but what he was allowing them to see. That is when everything went haywire as they lost connection. Hisashi rushed outside as the alarm started to raise. They had protections around their place as well. moving as fast as he could. Hisashi saw it. The heavens darkened. The clouds seemed to grow so thick. That wasn't normal, that wasn't rain. That is when it surged together. A bolt of lightning. This was unnormal. It was gold. It twisted and fused together. In one fell swoop, it came down on the mountain behind them. Everything went white. Hisashi was on the ground covered in dust and smoke. A few buildings nearby was eradicated. Hisashi picked himself up. The mountain was gone. But not only that, the entire valley behind them was erased. Meanwhile, Aiko did not understand because she did not see it, but she could feel the power coming from Naruto. I sent them a message, said Naruto. Let us go. Hisashi stood there, befuddled, shocked. Not only did 35 of his own was now resting because of the amount of power they release. Not only did he step out of it, not even harmed, but a glimpse of his own power wiped out a mountain just like that, while they had to combine their strength. He was right, he thought to himself. He was a monster simply waiting for the moment to kill them all. They had no choice but to come together. The prophecy has been brought to reality, and as the descendants of Hamura, they were responsible. They had to save the world from cataclysmic destruction. They were the only ones. Meanwhile, as Hayashi got word, he was furious. That stupid fool. Hisashi was always pushing and rushing the gun, and now he's attacked the monster and failed to destroy it. Word was spreading across the elemental nation. Some people questioning what happened at the demon country. Why would he save humanity if he wanted to destroy it? Some saying that he was simply toying with them, making them feel safe, saying that he had a sick sense of humor and he was doing it on purpose. The chakra that was released was felt by many. It's been a long time since power like that was so casually thrown around on both parts. The Hyugas has spent a long time developing their weapon and keeping it safe, having it to struck down those that come to cross them, but now it was very out in the open. As many people came to the shore, the residue of chakra that was there was intense. Other nations started to get into the fold, and it was noticeable. They're all looking at us, Aiko said. As both her and Naruto walk, many scurry back into their houses. Many stare, many watch. Many was confused, many was afraid. As they stepped through one of the countries, they were still within the residence of the elemental nation. Many sneered when they saw Aiko, knowing that she was one of the outsiders. But they were afraid to let Naruto see them, seeing that she was with him, believing that she was similar, believing that she was probably similar or family with him. Yet, she didn't seem as imposing as he did. However, they walked, stepping through boundaries and other areas without needing any sort of identification. The smaller villages knew better than to do something stupid, than to do something idiotic. However, as the days passed by, people started to spill rumors and all sorts of things. Naruto found himself accosted by many, believing that if they somehow took him down, they would gain his power, believing that he was here to grant them wishes or some sort of bullshit. What was strange though was every single Noxery was absent. People started to notice that. You had some that roamed certain areas, but every single Noxery was pulled back to the Crimson Capital, and all the Lunas were pulled to the Moon Valley. Something big was going on. And the elemental nations start to feel, well, accosted, like war was coming. As the first time humanity proved to be stupid once again, there was a group of them that stood in Naruto's way, telling him that he could not get by, telling him that he will grant them power, that he was the brother of the sage, he was also some sign of divine being. However, Naruto did not know if it was simply arrogance or stupidity. Their very words contradict what they said. As they raised their weapons to him, he was confused. Very much so. Aiko stepped between them as she had to lay it out. So you want him to give you power because you know that he's a very powerful person and yet you're going to attack him? I mean, really? Does that make sense? Naruto was in the same boat as her, really confused. However, something was wrong, as Naruto saw that. What he did learn was they were not from the elemental nation. They were from a small village, close by that was being accosted by them. The elemental nation treat the others like they were what? Parasite, abominations. A virus was released in one of the villages to test it on the citizens out there. A virus that could destroy the Noxers and the Lunas, and they use it on innocent people. Naruto saw it. These people weren't arrogant, they were afraid, because they had no other hope. It was a village known as a land of lightning. As they cleared the entire sections outside, forcing hard labor, there were restrictions, tax, that they shouldn't have to pay, but their might simply wasn't enough. Thus, either they die here or come back with power to defend their people. Naruto was reminded of that girl that he saved. When he first stepped out, Aiko felt bad as she remembered her own village. However, as she looked at Naruto, "We can't," she said. "Attacking them risks a problem with the land of lightning, and they will come after you." Naruto stood there. He wasn't any warrior of peace. He wasn't someone that would fight for humanity. He wasn't someone that would go out of his way to bring humanity joy and happiness. All he's done so far was for his own self-interest or to test his own power. However, he remembered a long time ago when he told his mother that without control, humanity would not know better. The big villages had no reason to do this to them. They just wanted the power, the control. That's because there was no one else bigger than them to stop them, because the other villages would not risk a war. The village chief was shocked as Naruto descended upon his area, Aiko in tow. She was against this, but on the inside she was happy that Naruto was doing this, saving the little people. As Naruto told her to stay. "What? I'm coming." "No. Stay here," he said. She looked up towards him. He paused. "Do you think I will not return?" Of course," she said, but her tone was not convincing. He looked at her. "I will not abandon you," he said. Those words made her feel comforted. Naruto made his way. There was around 5 settlements, all of them owned by Kumo ninjas. Arriving there, the one that seemed to be leading this whole charge, his name was Darui. He was close to the Raikage. There was many villages that were under Kumo's registration, Kumo leadership, not by free will, of course. This was just how the world was. The elemental nation was like the high class, and the rest were low-life citizens. So they did what they did, use who they use. Darui was there today, which was a mistake on his part. When Naruto arrived there, due to them possessing greater power than the low-lives down there, they were never afraid, until their sensors were knocked out. by just trying to analyze him. Weapons were raised, but Naruto paid them no mind. Who's in charge? Darui emerged. Who's asking? I am Naruto Otsutsuki. Pack it up and leave. These people are no longer under your control, said Naruto. Darui looked towards him. The rumors had reached these parts. However, Darui, while a calm person, teachings of the past, their own leadership, everything, he wasn't about to back down that easily. When he opened his mouth, Naruto was reminded about the time where him and his mother entered the settlement where he eradicated those people. He cut Darui off. It wasn't a question, he said. When he once again opened his mouth, wind surged around Naruto as he raised his hand. The settlement to his right was eradicated. They immediately attacked. Stupid idiots. They launched themselves, blurring through hand sign. Electricity surged, but Naruto was gone. Naruto's palm hit a guy in the chest. His body folded inwards. He swept another feet away and hit him in the palm of his own hands. It banged, causing him to fall as Naruto dropped him. He jumped, flipping. One kick sent the guy into the mountainside. They surrounded him and combined their lightning. However, Naruto held it off. It spun around him like an ultimate defense. He absorbed the chakra like it was nothing. They started back away as Naruto held his hand out. Black rods formed into the sky as Naruto rained them. Some escaped, some were skewered. Naruto jumped to the top. He molded the earth like it was made of putty, twisted and banged it. The entire camp settlement was crushed. The massive stones raining down, tearing through buildings. As Naruto floated there, Darui pulled himself out of the chaos along with the survivors. Naruto's eyes showed that it was not up for discussion. They fled. Naruto rearranged the entire mountainside, stopping anything from being built, changing the entire landscape. His power absolute, terrifying. Descending down, they thanked him, but Naruto did not care because he did not do it for them. A part of him still believed that humanity needed correction because without it they were lost. Even more so after what happened to Kento and Mara. Aiko smiled as she saw him. With that, they simply carried on. The village would be safe. He would be the target of Kumo. However, soon their leaders would realize he wasn't someone to be trifled with. He's already made it clear to Kiri and the Uzumakis. He showed the Hyuga as a piece of his power. He wanted all the leaders to know his name, to know that he wasn't someone that they could simply attack and survive afterwards. Finally, they arrived at the land of fire. They were being watched constantly. Naruto could see them all. I'm getting a bad feeling, Aiko said. Stow it away, said Naruto. We will be fine. They moved through, as Naruto was once again stopped, this time by the capital guards. As Naruto was roaming through the capital, where the fire daimyo resided, he was nowhere to be seen. His life was precious after all, and a monster was coming. Shinobis were already moving. Civilians were being relocated. They believed that he was here to bring destruction and chaos. And that is their own mistake, not his. Naruto walked, no fear, no hesitation in his steps, because he wasn't concerned by any single one of them. However, he was amused when they told him that he was not welcome in this land. Perhaps it was their words they were using to get rid of him. "Let us go," said Naruto. "What about them?" Aiko said. "They're not important." "Do you understand where you are?" The leader of this group spoke up. He seemed to be high up in the faction. "You are stepping to the land of fire, where the strongest village in all of the elemental nation resides. Given the commotion that surrounds you right now, you are not welcome in our land." "This land does not belong to you," said Naruto. "This earth does not belong to you. Not a single amongst yourself can tell me where to go." As he started to walk again, their weapons started to raise. "I will advise against that. You are strong in your own right, but you're simply insects in front of my eyes. I'm sure you heard rumors. Understand this, they're not rumors. Reality would be much worse for your leaders, your gods, those you worship, if you step against me." Aiko felt even intimidated despite being his friend. They hesitated to make a move, as one of them came and whispered into his ear. "Stand down," he said. He walked past. They glared at Naruto and Aiko though, as they made their way. As they walked through the trees, there was a lot of them. So much. However, as they came across the massive gates, it was locked. And a few of them were there. These were the so-called leaders, Naruto thought as he stepped forward. Meanwhile, as you can see, he's showing his true colors, showing that he's above everything and everyone. How much more longer are you going to allow this to happen? Isn't this what you've been planning for the past 5,000 years? Or perhaps you're afraid. I'm not afraid of anything. Well, he is the one that created you. And that doesn't matter, Kento shouted. Things won't go back to the way they were. His vision that he told us about, his vision that he wanted will not become reality. I will not allow that to happen. Then, why don't you make your move? I will, Kento said as he was not alone. Behind him within the shadows was none other than Zetsu. Yes, they've all been scheming and planning. Perhaps they found a way to overcome him, to stop him. Or perhaps they were just sentencing themselves to a fate worse than death. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want the next part, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. But I'm off for now. Peace.